Hello, beautiful ones. This is Lorelei from the Tightrope to 5D Music Reactions. And if you don't understand that title, stick around to the end. I have a special message about this historic shift from third dimensional consciousness to fifth dimensional consciousness. Never before happened, so stick around. Now this time though, today we are starting with Angelina Jordan, I Have Nothing. And she's younger in this one, which is why I really wanted to do it. I want to see the difference. So here we go. Oh, I just first have to start off. Look at that. She's clapping to the to let the I've seen her do this before. I believe to let the musicians know that time for them to go or whatever. Like she's got control already at this young age of the musicians here, which is what a singer is supposed to do. But she just had just so much self-confidence. So unbelievable. Here we go. Let's start it again where we could see that full clap. Hang on.
Share my life, take me for what I am, 'cause I'll never change all my colors for you. Take my love, I'll never ask for too much, just all that you are and everything that you do. I don't really need to look very much further. I don't wanna have to go where you don't follow. I don't wanna hold it back again. This passion inside, I can't run from myself. There's nowhere to hide.
Oh my goodness. Wow. You know, she just belts that right out. And I'm noticing like this setup for her. I think you could see that in this sense she's a little younger because she wants to turn to the camera, but she has to face the mic in the other direction. And that, you know, maybe she just was in her first experiences and you know, maybe didn't have all the correct setup and everything and studio and everything. So so in that sense you can see technically, but boy, vocally, she's right on the money here. Let's go back a little bit.
I don't really need to look very much further. I don't wanna have to go where you don't follow. I don't wanna hold it back again. This passion inside, I can't run from myself. There's nowhere to hide. Don't make me close my door. I don't wanna hurt anymore. Stay in my arms if you're there. Or must I imagine you there? Don't walk away from me. I have nothing, nothing, nothing if I don't have you.
Well, I'll tell you what, vocally, in my book, she's every bit as good as Whitney. By the way, like this video I'm making and like hers afterwards. It's in the notes. And subscribe so you can see more. But let's go back. By the way, I now have all of my, I have playlists for all the different singers. So go to the singer you like and look at the different videos. Let's go back and hear that again because that was so awesome. She just really gives it her all here, doesn't she? Here we go. And she's got every vocal technique down. My goodness.
There's nowhere to hide. Don't make me close my door. I don't wanna hurt anymore. Stay in my arms if you're there. Or must I imagine you there? Don't walk away from me.
See, there's it. See it now. An accomplished singer would have demanded that they have that that setup so that she could see, while she's singing, could see the audience, so she wouldn't want to keep turning to the camera. Even if you had it at a tilt, you would. Of course, that's just showing that she's maybe a little younger, a little less polished in that sense. But boy, her singing is no messing around. Do you see what I'm talking about, though, in terms of the technical? Because as a performer myself, I know it's really disturbing when they set you up like you're not in a good position to do what you got to do. So here we go.
You break down my walls with the strength of your love. Oh, I never knew love like I'm now with you. Where the memories survive. Oh, I can't hold you. I don't really need to look very much further. I don't wanna have to go where you don't follow. I don't wanna hold it back again. Passion inside, I can't run from the set. There's nowhere to hide. Your love I remember forever. Don't make me close over door. I don't wanna hurt anymore. Take your mind, leave you there. Must I imagine you were there? Don't walk away from me. I have nothing, nothing, nothing. Don't make me love over there. I don't wanna.
God, she's just so extraordinary. I mean, I don't know how she could top the last time she sang it, but I can see she's going to try. The last time she sang that refrain. Let's go back a little and hear how she tries to top it, because I think she's going to do it. Here we go.
I have nothing, nothing, nothing. Don't make me love over there. I don't wanna hurt anymore. Take your mind, leave you there. Must I imagine you were there? Don't walk away from me. Don't you walk away from me. Don't you walk away from me. I have nothing, nothing, nothing if I don't have you.
Well, she did it. She topped her first, her other refrain. Oh my goodness. This one is just so unbelievably talented. Unbelievably talented. I think she must have been reincarnated from another singer. That's the only thing I can make of it, how she could do this. And by the way, well, let's go back and hear that ending again, because I cut it off a little. Let's go back. Just a little bit of that ending so we hear that. Here we go.
Don't you walk away from me. Take your mind, leave you there. Must I imagine you were there? Don't walk away from me. Don't you walk away from me. Don't you walk away from me. I have
Look at her. Oh my goodness. It's so great. She's so great. She goes back and forth from being this powerful singer to this little girl, you know. And I gotta tell you, I think she sang this one even better than the other one. Now, I did hear, and that's another reason I wanted to watch it, I did hear that she had some kind of a cold coming on the time she sang that other one in front of that audience for some kind of a big event where everybody was like a banquet type thing. And so I did hear that there was a better one out there. So I thought, let me check this one out and see. And I think I can see the difference now. At that time, I thought the other one was great. I couldn't see how you could do it better. But when you hear this one, it's like, whoa. And she's probably about 8 years younger than she was in the other one. That is so crazy. Oh, my goodness. And then, you know, whew, I really appreciate you, Angelina Jordan. If you ever watch this, thank you for your beautiful gift that you bring to the world. And then we go, well, how much is this pulling us toward the fifth dimension? Joy, love, bliss. That's a number 10 on my scale. Fun, play, ease, and down or toward the third dimension. Fear, pain, suffering, sadness, anger, longing for what we can't have. All of that. Okay. So it's a tough one. That's a number 1. The other is a number 10. Because this is such a gorgeous song, and it's such a heartfelt song. But the theme of it is like almost a longing for something that you don't have, or you might be afraid of losing. So there's an attachment there, right? And there's like, don't you dare walk away from me. Like there's a kind of that kind of thing. But it's so heartfelt, and it's what we do feel, right? It's so heartfelt. So it does open our hearts wide open. So it's not fully in 5D, but it's certainly not going toward 3D either. So I think we have to go with about a 7 on this in terms of how much it pulls us. Now, if you went with how well she did it on a score of 1 to 10, you'd probably have to go 20, but she is just astonishing. But those scales are so that we can understand what kind of music do we want to listen to that will bring us to the next higher level. So it depends also on where you're at. You know, if your frequency is very low, then to listen to something at a 5 is a good thing, right? Brings you up. But if your frequency is pretty high already, like for me, I have to listen to things at a 9 or 10 to pull me up because I'm already at an 8 or 8.5 most of the time, maybe sometimes 9, right? So it depends where you're at, and you can make that determination once you get what I'm talking about the difference of where a song may pull us in what direction. Do you get that, by the way? Can you give me a comment and let me know if you understand that information that I'm trying to impart upon you? Or I am imparting, no trying. And by the way, if you want to know a little bit about me, and you can go to the video here about me, about Lorelei, and that'll actually lead you to a longer video if you'd so desire to go look at that. And that tells you about my forged in the fire of third dimensional difficult experiences, that whole journey. And also, if you want to know some of the things that I created that might be of assistance from all the skills and talents I got in those years, you can go to the description on YouTube and drop down and go to About Me, About Lorelei on Patreon. Okay? So, oh my goodness. Wonderful stuff, wonderful stuff. So what is my 5D message today? And I do hope you're going to stick around for these 5D messages because we are in an historic time. When you get finally through this, you're going to look back and you're going to go, wow, I really wish I paid more attention because, you know, it's like it's happening all around you right now, and it's never, ever happened before. You know, the higher beings are all around our planet right now watching us like a movie. There's like, this is the best movie in the universe. Let's see how it ends. Of course, they know how it's going to end, but we always know how it's going to end, don't we? But we want to watch that anyway, you know. So my 5D message today is, how has our environment slowed down our rise to the fifth dimension? How has our environment slowed that down? Well, I talked about the environment in terms of toxins and all the toxic things that are in our food, for instance. And all those toxic, I'm going to go to the gamut of everything now, though. I want to just have you understand the overview. So those toxic things in our food are making us very, very sick. And you can go watch my video on that. And if you wanted to keep us from rising up to the fifth dimension, what's one really good way to do it? Let's just keep everybody sick, right? Let's just keep everybody sick. Because you ever notice how it's hard to really feel good when your body doesn't feel good? You know, you're fighting against something. When you're sick, you're constantly trying to just rise up to feel normal. Never mind rising up to feel great, right? You just want to kind of rise up to feel normal. So it's like with all of this stuff they're putting into our food and water and everything else, it seems like an attempt to keep us sick. It's because some of these things, by the way, they're banned in other countries. So it's clear that these things are not good for us. So it kind of seems like it's an attempt to keep us sick. And I might argue that it really well could be an attempt to keep us sick. So, for instance, you go, if you're of my particular age and you go to watch the old shows that you like to watch, all you see are all of these ads for oldness and sickness and oldness and sickness and take this drug and do this thing and take this drug and do this thing, mostly about drugs. Drugs also, by the way, are always going to keep you in the eternal loop of sickness. They never cure anything. All they do is mask some symptoms, and you have to take higher and higher dosages and quantities and more different types to try to make up for all the things that the original drug did to you. Then you take another drug to make up for that. Then you take another drug because that's doing stuff to you. And then you take another drug because that's doing stuff to you, and on and on and on. It just keeps you in the cycle of sickness. And then those commercials it's almost like it's kind of a brain programming. It's programming us to think that at this certain age, up above this age right here, which is, I think, relatively in the 6-0 range, when you get up above that, even 5-0 for some people, those commercials are coming at you, telling you you're old, you're sick, you're old, you're sick, you're old, you're sick. And first of all, they shouldn't even be showing us commercials for drugs, because that should be a doctor's responsibility, not for us to say, oh, that looks like a good drug for me to take. I mean, we don't have the expertise for that as a general rule. Now, natural medicine, I'd love to see them barrage us with natural stuff. Hey, take this natural thing, that natural thing, this natural thing. Maybe not all at once, so we don't feel like our bodies are falling apart. But if you're going to barrage us with natural stuff that actually makes a difference and can even cure us. But no, that's not what's going on out there. So that, again, seems like a very, very strange thing, okay, to be doing to the mindset of the population. And fluoride's a really good example, by the way, because fluoride was used in Nazi Germany to test and see how deformed you could make the human being or the human body by giving them more and more and more fluoride. And they say here, and by the way, it's banned in a bunch of Western European countries. And they say, oh, it's just a tiny little bit, you know. But that tiny little bit in your water, that tiny little bit in your toothpaste, every day, 365 days a year, for the entirety of your life, that adds up to a big bit, actually. It actually does. Now, watching a show by Ian Carroll the other day, oh my goodness, certainly a man you want to take a look at, about how all of the corporations are coming together, and literally this certain subset of corporations, including BLACK, ROCK, own all companies for all practical purposes. They don't own them as in they own the stocks, but they own the rights to move the stocks, because you own some kind of an agreement with them in the fluctuating thing where you buy stocks. You own the right. They own the right to take your stocks and do what they want with it. So for all purposes, they own the stock because they own the rights to do whatever they want with it. So what are they doing? There's also a law that literally, you got to watch this one by Ian Carroll. I'll try to remember to put it in the notes, okay? That literally means that you don't need to do right for the people that you're serving. You must do right by the people who are making the money, like legally binding for you to do what makes the people the money. And that's why you find massive amounts of leads in baby food and things like this, right? Because they're legally bound to do right to make the money, not to do right by the population. You got to watch that video. I'll try to remember to put it. So that's another one. Like, you get all these companies come together, right? But all of these companies are really owned by a very, very small amount. Every company on the planet, including, Hidden Valley Ranch dressing and everything is owned by this, if you look, is for all practical purposes owned by this very small number of companies who are legally bound to do what's right to make money, not to do what's right for your health. And we wonder why we've got all this crud in our food and environment and in our baby food and everything else. So that's another thing. It's like even at the stage of a baby, they want to start us off right. If you consider, I'm not saying exactly who's doing it, but there seems to be an overview plan. It seems like there's somebody making an overview plan, right? That doesn't work very well for us, right? And let's start them off. Even as babies, we'll start poisoning their body right from the get-go. Maybe that'll make their lifespan even shorter, which would be handy. Please go back and watch my video about the Georgia Guidestones. That will be something for you that you could put together with this. So it'd be handy if they didn't live so long to begin with, right? If we just kind of shorten their lifespan right from childhood, right? Oh my goodness. I mean, what other things? You have the chemtrails. Now, what are the chemtrails out there doing? Dropping some kind of chemicals on all of us. And again, you look up to the sky in some of these big cities and you can't even see the sun because there's so much pollution. And obviously that's harming us. There's no question you can even, there's no way you could even question that that's harming us. Even up to including, the insanity of it is this massive push. Sunscreen. Don't go out in the sun. Don't go out in the sun. Don't go in the sun. Sunscreen. And actually, one of the best ways to raise your frequency and vibration quickly is get out in the sunshine. And if we do that over time, I try to do it every day for at least a few minutes. If we do that over time, we're going up and up and up. But yeah, they want to make sure we don't go out in the sun, or if we do, we cover our body to make sure we're not taking in any of those rays. Now, that's very, very convenient, considering that as we're going through the photon belt, it is the sun's rays that is literally getting into us and shifting our body and activating our dormant DNA. Now, it just seems funny that's very convenient. Doesn't it seem very funny? That's, again, makes you think, is there some overarching plan here, right? That you don't want us to move up? You don't want us to move up in vibration? What is the situation here, So, the very feeling that we all have inside society, even from quite a young age, because, by the way, our children are getting incredibly sick from all of this stuff, right? And there's this enormous rise in all kinds of things. You see, like, first, of course, we know about, the ADHD and the Asperger's and the, what's that other name with an A? But you know what I'm talking about, that Robert F. Kennedy's always talking about. All these things, right? So there's that huge rise. But if you look online too, literally in those commercials are commercials for children who have, skin issues and all kinds of funky, weird issues. Children. Now, if there's a commercial for children, eczema, if there's commercials for children having these things, that must mean that a lot of children have it. Because you never, ever, ever, when I was growing up, saw a commercial for a child who was sick. Because children weren't sick then. They weren't sick. You once in a while saw a commercial for a sick adult, right? But children were not sick, but they're sick now, I'll tell you. And then, of course, and here's one of the biggest things that we see is this seemingly concentrated effort, right? It seems like a concentrated effort to keep us in lack and scarcity and debt, doesn't it? And I've talked in some of my videos about the Federal Reserve and the kind of underhanded way that came into being. Take a look back at that video. And what's that been doing to us? This whole money system that is really not fair. And it's not in any way of an equitable distribution of the wealth. Now, I'm not saying go to the rich people, take their money and give it to the poor. Although if they stole it, maybe we should, because a lot of those SOBs did dirty criminal things to take it. But I'm not talking about the normal rich people in that. I don't have a problem with rich people. I think it's a great thing to go out and drive your life. But there are some who are running the entire money of our entire population, who are committing crimes and making trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars to do it. Like when they go and they crash the economy of an entire country so that they, by their Federal Reserve dirtiness, so that they can go in there and buy it up, all the land up at, pennies on the dollar. So, that kind of thing, maybe we should redistribute the wealth. But in general, I'm not saying that we're trying to take from the rich and give to the poor. But I'm saying that the thing is entirely, like the money system is entirely dirty and entirely driven to make sure it keeps us in poverty. Or at least it looks that way. It looks like there's an overarching plan to keep us in abject poverty or constantly in debt, just like struggling just to survive. And you got all this robots and everything, right? They should be able to do the work and us kick back and relax and enjoy. But no. We are the mouse on the wheel. They must keep our wheel turning. It looks like. That's what it looks like. And why is that handy for the coming? Why does that keep us back? And why is it handy to not have us move up to the higher dimensions? Because obviously, when you're just scrambling to survive every minute of every day, if you are doing all that, just every minute of every day is absolutely consumed with how do I even survive and take care of my family, obviously, you don't have any time to stop and smell the roses. That's important to move to 5D. You don't have any time to relax, to just let the energy come in, to be out in nature, and feel that on a daily basis. You don't have the time for that. You don't have the time to meditate. You don't have the time for any of that. All you have to do is run every day just to make a living. So that, again, seems like, is there some plan here? Do we have somebody making a plan that's trying to, thwart our attempts to get to the higher dimensions? And I can tell you, personal experience, 3 or 4 years of scrambling around to decide where to go. And I come back to this position here where I was, where I'm now assisting my elderly mother, which is great because she needed the help and it helped me too. So, and now it's suddenly like, whoa, what's going on out there? Like I suddenly had space in my life that I had never had before where I could actually look around me. And this is when I learned about this fifth dimensional shift. This is when I learned about it, when I had space in my life where I was not just a mouse on that wheel trying to scrape to survive. I never, ever would have learned about it as a mouse on a wheel. So by the way, praise the Lord from the other side, right, that is looking to support us to rise up our frequency. There's a lot of things that are going to be coming at us to help us with that financial situation. They are in the works. So take a deep breath and just know that it's coming and just trust that it's coming. And I know about many of them and I talk about them in one of my videos. But yeah, so it's actually kind of astonishing. About, I think, 100 years ago or so, when the higher beings were looking on their planet, on our planet, there were a great number of them saying, this is just never going to happen. Absolutely, these people are not going to accomplish this. This is not going to happen. And here we are, though, 100 years later, and they're astonished because they absolutely did not think it could possibly happen up against the odds we had and where we were then. You can understand, like, the drive of the human spirit for this. We don't even know what we're fighting for, but we know we're fighting for, we're working for, we're moving toward, or we're going in the direction of something better. We don't quite know what it is, most of us. We don't know it's fifth dimension, but we know it's going to be better than this, right? You see, there was another attempt to kind of bring us down. All this past happenings in government and whatnot the past 10 years, really attempting to bring us down and control us all, and backfired in their face because you know what? We got pissed. We said, up yours and around the corner, we ain't doing it. And that's important sometimes, I don't like to live my life in anger, and I never really do, but sometimes an entire population has to get angry enough to do something about it. So watch my video, by the way, Elvis, If I Can Dream, which really gives you the steps to manifest that heaven on earth. I'd love to have you do that. Okay, beloved ones, I'm sending you then this high vibrational energy, this fifth dimensional love, peace, bliss, joy, abundance, fun, play, ease, all coming at you now. Namaste. I honor the God in you.